Hey, what's up guys? This is TBone here. Welcome back to another episode playing Legendary Game Heroes. So today I'm going to show you a couple of teams I'm using to take on the Korelium Crusade levels and also the solo bosses as well as the guild boss. But first I wanted to talk about the packs that are available this event. So besides the one that we thought was going to be available, which was going to be the one for the Hair's Extraordinaire, they also brought back the Glorious Golems deck, the vault, so that you could get them if you need to. And this is actually a really good time to be picking up this card, or the cards from here, because they will really help you out in this event, and it's just a good deck in general. This is one of the few decks that I highly recommend, and so if you've been thinking about going after the golems, this is the right time to do so. In fact, if you get them, you could use them in this event, and I'm going to show you what I do with them. So let's first talk about we'll talk about the Crusade. So I am focusing on the Korelium levels right now, and I'm going to show you a couple of teams that I am using. One that is obviously going to be stronger, but I have another team that anybody should be able to field if you've gone in a couple of tiers into this vault. And so the trick here is you are going to take advantage of your allies. So hopefully you are finding friends who are putting in strong cards as their ally cards. And for this particular purpose, what you're hoping to find are people who do have the event ultimate form, and that is the Fierce family. So we're going to go ahead and pick one of them. And the team I'm going to show you is this one right here. So this is one of the teams that can succeed in the waves, and it involves really just the event team. And I have 3 support cards here. Okay, I have 3 Trailblazer Gunhild, and I have them at 6 stars right now, and I do have 1 Grandpapa Frode. So what these cards will do for you is this is going to be your gem spawner as well as the ally ultimate form, and then you're going to get a little bit of heal from your Trailblazer Gunhild. Now, the heal you're getting is for 10,000% of the hero recovery. So unless your recovery value is high, you're not going to get as much heal as you would like. So you're going to want to increase the health of the hero or increase the level of the hero if you want the heal to be more effective. Or alternatively, you could add a scepter, a dark scepter into it. But for the 5th card, I have in here Guardian of Gaul. This is a Generation 2 card. You can find them in the Dust Shop. And this card basically just creates dark gems based on the number of gems that's already on the board. I chose this card on purpose because I wanted to show that you don't necessarily need to have all of the greatest and latest heroes in order to do well in the event. The event deck as a whole, even without the Master Collection card or the Ultimate Form, is strong enough to take on the waves. And we're going to go with this right now. I'm going to show you how this works. Because it is a 2-turn deck, you are always going to be able to utilize this, the heal every 2 turns, and you're going to get a good amount of gems on the board. And so I'm going to show you what this looks like, right? So like if you activate everything, you're going to have everything all filled up with gems on the first turn. Now, the Guardian of Gaul has a 3-turn cooldown, so you're going to need to wait 1 turn in between before you can activate Guardian of Gaul together with the event deck here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and use 1 turn here to reset everything so that I can get all the battle skills ready. Now we are up against a mini boss right now, and you can see we do have 3 million health because we have a 20% health increase for the team, and so having all event team here just makes sense. And I don't have 5 event cards, that's why I'm putting 4 in here. If you have a 4th event card, you could potentially put in there. I just put in the Guardian of Gaul for the purpose of getting more power gems. There are a lot of other options. We can talk about them. And so what we're going to do is we're going to fill up the board first. When you're playing with a card that fills up the power gems based on the number of gems on the board, it just makes sense to fill up the board first and then activate. So with this, we're going to get 8 power gem 2s, which is going to help the rest of the teams deal a lot of damage. Now, Guardian of Gaul itself is a Generation 2 card, so itself isn't going to deal a ton. All right, but that is not what this card is here for. The card is here to help us create power gems so that we can increase the damage output of the rest of the team. Now, as time goes on, I am using 5 5 relics here because I got lucky with my relic pulls during the vault pulls. So I do have 5 of them, and it's going to help me increase my intensity quickly. So you can see what's going to happen here is I'm going to reach 250 intensity, and that's going to allow my Grandpapa Frodo to create 1 additional power gem. Okay, so it's not a lot, but it does add up over time, especially if you're in a sort of a long and drawn out fight where your intensity keeps growing. You're eventually going to be able to fill up the board with just the Grandpapa Frodo deck, and that is going to increase your damage output, so you wouldn't really need the Guardian of Gaul. And you can see here, I'm already through 3 waves here without a whole lot of effort. And so all I'm doing here is I'm just, simply activating everything, wait 1 turn for Guardian of Gaul's ability to, battle skill to be ready, and then just activating everything, focusing on filling up the board first, right? So all I'm doing here is I'm just activating the ultimate form from my ally card, and then I'm activating Grandpa Frodo, and then the support cards followed by Guardian of Gaul. And this is the reason why it's important to have an ally that has the ultimate form, because you do need to get the power boost from your ally. But what's nice is you don't need to have the card, you just need to have a friend who has it. And it looks like my phone is heating up pretty badly, so it's really slow. And this will be this will impact your solo games, right? If you're or if you're going up against the guild boss, this is super slow. But this is also because I'm currently recording, and so this does make a difference. Like as I'm recording, it does heat up the phone quite a bit more, and so just please bear with me. Now this is going to be the toughest boss of all, because this boss will have a ton of health and is going to be super strong. And so it will take a little bit longer, but you'll see here, we're going to take a look at the heal and also the intensity count by the time we finish. And so as you can see here, we're at 2.392 million. And after activating the 3, we just barely got to 2.5. So we've gained about 200,000 health here. Like I said, the heal in itself isn't as high unless you actively level up the support card. If you can level up the support card, then you'll be able to get more recovery for the card, and then you'll be able to heal a little bit more. But as it is right now, with this deck here, it survives okay, especially since if we are not berserked, we also have a damage reduction, and so that helps out a little bit. So the combination of the heals every 3 turns, and then also with the damage reduction in between, you're going to be able to survive a little bit better. And now that we're on to 750, we're going to be reaching 750 intensity. I don't have to wait the full 3 turns anymore. So what I could do here is I could now start using my battle skills as it's ready, because I'm going to start having more power gems on the board from both my ultimate form and also my Grandpapa Frodo. And so I don't really need to wait for Guardian of Gaul at this point. So I can now shift back to every 2 turns, activate my battle skills, and just get the battle skills going and get the power gems ready there. And so technically, I don't really need Guardian of Gaul here, right? As you can see here, this is strong enough to take on the final boss on its own. I just wanted to show that with a basic deck here using support cards, you can be successful in the waves. It's not a problem. So anybody should be focusing themselves on getting to Korelium level as quickly as possible, so that you can take on these bosses and get more trophies. Another reason why it's going to be important for you to do so is because almost everyone is going to be running this similar team that I'm about to show you, that is going to really help you get through the guild bosses. So we're going to talk about that. And so we're going to go through these trophies, and we're going to get the keys, and we're going to go ahead and do a guild boss now. So we're going to do a guild boss, and I'm going to show you the team that I am using here. This is almost done. Let's see if my guildmate is still attacking right now. And if not, I'm going to go ahead and put an attack in. So it looks like it might be okay. So the team that I'm using here, I am using the Unbound Royalty, which is the Noble Killer ultimate form. but this is an older one. There's a newer version of it, and that is the one that you should be using if you have it, because it gives you the 900 times bonus. I only have the 400 times bonus, but this allows me to still deal over 300 trillion damage because I'm pairing that with Freedom Fighters, which gives me so I get the attack boost from the royalty, and I'm using Glorious Golems, the high performance unit area, and then unit area. The high performance unit area is going to be the MVP here for multiple reasons. Number one, it does dispel, or it does cleanse slumber. So slumber will impact all passive abilities, but high performance unit area will dispel it so that you can use it, so you can use your abilities the very next turn, and it's super useful. And so the way to play this deck, really simple. All you're gonna do is you're going to activate high performance unit area whenever you can, all right? And then wait one turn and see everything get dispelled. So there's Power Gem Silence and there is Slumber. You're going to see everything get dispelled. And as soon as it gets dispelled, then just go ahead and activate the Glorious Golems. I like to activate my Reigning Monarchs here, even though it doesn't do anything until the next turn. But what it does is it allows me to get a little bit more gems the next turn. And also the nice thing about the ultimate form here is that I can, because it's an older card, I will actually be able to create an ultimate gem. And what I did here is the next turn I also just activated the regular unit area just so I can get an additional immunity, right? So I can get an immunity so I don't get damage even though it's not going to really impact me. And I'm going to go ahead and activate high performance unit area again, and then we're going to just kind of rinse and repeat. And I believe that I'll probably be able to take out the boss after this hit. So basically what happens here is you're most likely going to fill out the board here, and then with Freedom Fighters, you're going to do an attack that's going to be boosted by your killer skill, and then you're going to deal another 5 times after that, right? So I'm going to be dealing 15 trillion with my nuke, and with that, the guild boss is done. I wasn't able to show you how I would play it if I got over 200 intensity, but you've seen me play this deck before. All you have to do is activate the ultra rare card and then the regular unit area to get your double boost, and you play exactly the same way. You're going to be able to deal a lot of damage. And what I will do here is I won't go through the full fight, but I want to at least show you quickly how it works once you get the train going. Okay, and so we are going to go back in again, and I'm just going to show you how this works here, and then I'm going to talk about the other team that I'm using for the Crusade as well. We didn't actually have a solo boss spawn there, so I couldn't show you, but you would play essentially the same manner, and you would use this exact team, and really it's all about the nuke damage. It's all about the nuke. And with this, what you want to do is you want to try and play fast, so you don't want to get caught up with where the gems are, how many gems you're matching. You just focus on getting the gem matches as quickly as possible, and then go ahead and stop the clock. So because I am not using any relics that will stop that will break the shield, I do have to use the shield to stop the clock here. If I were using the Noble Killer relics, then I could break the shields and I wouldn't need to, but then what happens is my intensity is going to be slower to build up. Okay, and so because my intensity is going to be slower to build up, I'm going to have longer time required for me to get my intensity up to 200 and do double damage. And so all things considered, it's better for me to focus on using mostly Immortal Relic. Okay, so now we're going to be reaching our 200 intensity pretty quickly, so I'm going to show you the difference in damage output here. Right. So far we've only been able to get about like 2 to 3 trillion damage per hit from my Freedom Fighters, and that is because I haven't been filling up the board really. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go ahead and activate both high performance and then regular area, and then we're going to do a swap here. Then we're going to activate everything. Where we're going to get the most damage output is going to be when I could activate my Reigning Monarch, but we are not at 300 Slayer intensity just yet, so I don't have that. But you can see the amount of damage output now goes up to 5.6. When I can get the ultimate gem going, I could typically get it up to about 7.5 or so, and that is over 35 trillion damage per nuke. Okay, right now with 5.6, we're getting about 28 trillion every time with the nuke, and that is significant. And every 3 turns I'll be able to do this nuke damage. And so if you can be quick about it, you'll be able to really take down the boss. You'll be able to single-handedly take down a level 300 guild boss just with this, without the event team. This is completely without the event team here, okay? And if you are using the event team, then you could add that in so that you could boost your glorious golems so that you can get more damage output. Like there's just nothing wrong with putting them in there. It's just that this is the most effective way for you to deal a lot of damage so that you could take down the bosses. And because most people who have this team is already using it, if you don't know about this, I would highly recommend you going with this approach in order to compete, because I'll show you later, just about everybody has got this. All right, so we have an ultimate gem here, so we're gonna go ahead and do that match, and you can see the multiplyer's gone up, and I have 7.3 trillion there, so I could deal out over 35 trillion damage just from the nuke there. So you can just see how much damage I'm able to deal here with this setup. And that's why it's super important that's why I've always been advocating for getting the Freedom Fighters, because it gives you this ability to really thrive in a dark event. And the really great thing here is now you have an opportunity to get the glorious golems. If you don't have it, now's the time to go after it. I definitely highly recommend it. It is not going to be a deck that you're going to regret getting. Okay, not only is it good for guild versus guild fights, but it can overcome slumber. Okay, it can overcome slumber easily, as I'm showing here, and so there's no concerns about this deck being nerfed by it. And here you can see I was able to deal over 188 trillion with that. Okay, and so again, this is the setup that I'm using, that I think you should go for as well. And if you don't have the golems, go for the golems. Hopefully, if you listen to my advice about getting the Freedom Fighters, because you can no longer get them anymore. But if you have the Freedom Fighters, then definitely go after the golems here. Now, the missing ingredient here is the other one where if you don't have either the Ambao Royalty or the other Noble Killer ultimate form that gives you 900% output, you're going to deal 4 times less damage, obviously. But if you don't have an event deck, this is going to be your next best option. Okay, so if you don't have the Slayer ultimate form to give you that boost, then you have to expect that your Freedom Fighters is not going to deal quite as much damage. But it's still going to be a better option if you don't already have the event deck. And even if you do have the event deck, having the golems round and putting them together is still something to consider, because you could then get the 900% boost, apply to your golems, and then get additional attack boost so that your golems will deal a ton of damage. So it is just going to be wins all around. So that'll be my recommendation. Now, I don't have the solo bosses shown here, but what I'll show you is when I do go into the Crusades, and if it's a solo boss, the team that I do use, I'm just going to go ahead and select one because I'm not going to actually fight here. The team I do use is going to be the same one I use for the guild boss. And the only thing that I do in this particular case is I activate the first time my high performance unit area so that I can nuke down the health of my solo boss to a little bit lower. And then I wait until I get to 200 intensity. Then I go ahead and do the double boost. And that very next hit where I do the double boost, I'll be able to take the boss down, health of the boss down to really low, and then nuke it for about 50% overkill. So with this setup, I can give about 50% overkill, and with others, there are many examples where you can get about 100 to 200% overkill. So that's going to be it for me for today. I didn't show a lot of different deck ideas because I think this is going to be the most powerful one, and also if you have a few support cards and also the if you have some support cards and the event card like the Grandpa Frodo, you can still be successful. If nothing else, it allows you to gain more trophies through the Korelium through the Korelium wave fights. Okay, and so definitely consider using that approach. So that's gonna be it. Thank you very much for watching. Let me know what your thoughts are. Give me comments below, and tell me what teams you are currently running and how you're doing overall. That's gonna be it for me for today. Thank you very much, guys. Take care, and I'll see you next time.